فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وأوقات الأولى كلمة التقوى وخير البلاد بلاد إبراهيم وخير السنن سنة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وأشرف الحديث ذكر الله وأحسن القصص هذا القرآن وخير الأمور أوزنوها وشر الأمور محدثاتها وأشرف الموت قتل الشهداء وأما علم دلالة بعد الهدى وخير الأعمال ما نفع وخير الهادي ما اتبع وشر الأمة أما الكعب. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. Allah commands justice, the doing of good, and morality, the kith and kin, and He forbids all shameful deeds and injustice and rebellion. He instructs you that you may receive admonition. فَمَنْ يَرِيدِ اللَّهُ أَنْ يَهْدِيَهُ يَشْرَحْ صَدْرَهُ لِلْإِسْلَامِ. Those whom Allah in His plan willeth to guide, He opens their breasts to Islam. قُلْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ تَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَتَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ وَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ. You are the best of peoples, or you believe, fear Allah as you should be feared, and do not die except in the state of Islam. كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ تَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَتَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ وَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ. You are the best of hold fast. You are the best peoples ever raised up for mankind because you enjoy the right to bear the wrong and you believe in Allah. And وَأَتَصِلُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. And hold fast all together by the rope which Allah stretches out to you, and be not divided amongst yourself. The most truthful of discourse is Kitab Allah, the book of Allah. The most trustworthy word is taqwa, or fear of Allah. The best of the community is the community of Prophet Ibrahim. The best way of life is the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The remembrance of Allah is the most glorious of all things. The best of all narrations is Quran. The best acts are those requiring the highest degree of will and determination. The worst acts are those based on innovation. The best way of life is the one adopted by the prophets of Allah. The most glorious death is the death of the martyr. The most wretched blindness consists of going astray after finding the right way. Best acts are the ones that yield benefits. Best guidance is that which people may be able to follow. The worst blindness is the blindness of the heart. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر ولله الحمد. You know the rules, except for the children, of course, that apply to Salatul Jummah is the same one that applies for the Eid. Could somebody turn that fan there over toward the sisters instead of up in the air? Yeah. And turn it down just a little bit. No. Push it down. There you go. Yeah, hopefully it don't freeze nobody out. Anyway, it is reported that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, verily Allah says, O son of Adam, find leisure for my service, and then I shall fill up your heart with contentment. and I shall shut up your providence. And if you do not do it, I shall keep your hand engaged in work, and I shall not close up your providence. This is Ahmed and Ibn Majah. What this means is very clear, that it is very possible that the very thing that the world shuns and the world makes Islamophobia around it, and the world challenges Islam, and the world seems to be giving the Muslims problem after problem. The Prophet ﷺ is saying very clearly that that don't have to be the case, because in life, a lot of life is based on how you perceive it, based on how you accept it. You are actually, in many cases, in charge of your own vision of life, how you see it. The same thing can happen to one person and they see it as a tragedy. The same incident can happen to another person and they see it as a victory. Which one is right? They're both right, because one saw that event as a victory. It's a clean, clear, mubin type of victory. The other person saw it as a defeat, psychological, physical, emotional defeat. So they're both right based on their vision of it. Now, the same thing is true right now with Islam and with Muslims. So the Prophet ﷺ is saying that, O son of Adam, Bani Adam, if you make Islam and the khidmah, the Islamic work, your leisure. Now what does that mean? That means that instead of, you know how people always, oh, I got to listen, this Islam is a struggle, brother, I'm telling you, and it's always a struggle. That's because that's how they look at it. Here's the secret, right in this hadith. Make Islam your reality, but your hobby. I'm doing this to have fun. Now, what happens if you go out playing basketball or something like that? That's fun, right? You can play a whole string of games and you be tired, right? I mean, you be pushing yourself to get to game after game. Is that right? Because it's a pleasure. It's fun. What if you're having fun? Your kid's outside playing. You say, come in at 3 o'clock. Here they come at 7, 8 o'clock. Why? Because they out having fun. And the time does not have a bearing on the reality for them, right? Suppose you got your Islam, man. This is struggle. I don't know, man. You know, actually, technically that's true, but that's because that's the way they see it. Now suppose they flip it around. Suppose they look at Islam, right, and the gift that Allah gave us as a pleasure. And they make Islam like their leisure. That's what the hadith is saying. If you make Islam your leisure, your party, you're going to have a good time. It's unlimited how much challenge you can face, because it's fun. And people will be looking at you like something's wrong with that brother, because that brother had 96,000 events. That's only the one they saw. And they laughing, going around, and they just as happy as they can be. Wow, this is a secret, I'm telling you. I'm not lying on this one. This one is true. Make Islam your leisure. Then Allah gonna close up the door to poverty for you. You be doing stuff all the time, and you don't never go broke. Everybody trying to break you and take your money and steal, and you just cruising along. They get broke all the time. You don't never get broke. Why? Because Allah closed up. Now wait a minute. Now let me tell you. You're not sweating and like you working or nothing. You're just cruising along. Because Allah shut up the door of your power. Right? And that Islam is a legion for you. Now, on the other hand, because Allah gives you contentment, the basis of life is to be contented with life. They did a study of millionaires a while back, all the big old-time millionaires, Rockefeller, all of them. And they found out that wasn't none of them happy and contented. If one had $500 million, he was worried because homeboy got $550 million and he's panicked. He's almost broke. He's paranoid. So-and-so got $50 more million than me. I only got $500 million. I'm doggone near broke. Boy, I'm ready to commit suicide because he's not contented. And he got money now. He ain't like me and you. He got money. So it's not money that brings contentment. In fact, the people that have the most money are generally the less contented because they ignore the lisan, the balance in life. Their family life might be out of balance. Their health might be out of balance. All of those things, right? There's no balance because they're focused on acquiring wealth. But the Prophet ﷺ has said if you make Islam your legion, and I know very few people, this is fun. And you actually live like that, Allah gonna close up the door to your poverty. And everybody gonna be looking at you and they gonna wonder why this guy ain't never broke. Never. And everybody taking money. Everybody take gold. And you ain't never broke. Everybody's always cutting at whatever you're trying to do, and you just cruising along in life. It's because Allah that made Bani Adam his life contented. Now on the other hand, if you don't do that, Allah not going to close up the door to poverty. And you're going to work. And you ain't gonna never get rich. Not rich, I mean rich when you have contentment. Don't mean you may not get money, but whatever money you get, you're gonna work for that. When you make Islam your leisure, wealth gonna come from different ways. You ain't gonna know where it's gonna come from. But whatever it is, whether you're wealthy or slightly wealthy or unwealthy, you're gonna be contented with what you got. That's the key, contentment. I like my state, I like my condition, I like where I'm at. I like my space. And if you don't do it, don't worry. You're going to be the hardest working joker in show business. Yes, you will. Watch and see. You're going to be working hard all the time. And you're not going to be contented. You need more. I got to have more. I got too much. People don't like me. Whatever it is, that's what's going to happen. This is what the hadith say. Okay. So, Abu Sayyid radiallahu anhu reported that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "There's no patient man but possesses power, and no wise man that possesses experience." In other words, a lot of people read a lot of books and they go to school and they pass all those tests, straight A's, but they don't know nothing about life, right? How do you learn about life? Experience, simple as that. The more experience you have, the more countries you travel to, the more challenges you face, the more things you have to overcome. Even overcoming the shaitan. Do you know, in this world, outside of Allah, who your best friend is? The shaitan. Yes, he is. He's your best friend. Because now you got to remember now, Allah said, I only made men and jinn to serve me. So who is your adversary on earth? Is it lions and tigers and dinosaurs, stuff, big animals? No. Your greatest adversary is yourself. What is the means of personal development? What is the means that you get bigger and better? How do you do that? The shaitan always coming against you, right? And trying to divert you from the goal. So you have to have focus. You have to have discipline. Why? Because the shaitan are always there trying to divert you from your goal. The more he tries to divert you, the more focus you have to have. The more discipline you have to have. The more self-control that you have to have. The more management characteristics you have to have. Why? Because you have to stay focused on your goal. And the shaitan is relentless now. Remember waswasa kana, he whispers into the hearts of men, then he back up. And you'd be thinking all the messed up stuff in my life I did, but the shaitan caused you to do it. But the slinking devil who we seek refuge in Allah from, right, is the one that caused the problem. Because you listened to him. You paid attention to him. Therefore, he diverted you. Now, suppose you have satanic resistance. You resist him on all occasions. Can it happen? Of course it can. The Prophet ﷺ, when he followed Aisha radiallahu, she followed him to the graveyard. He was there praying for martyrs. She followed him. She thought he was going to another wife's house. This is one of them. He wasn't. He was going to the grave to pray. She saw him there praying, crying for the martyrs. She ran back. When he got back, he knew that she had followed him. She said, why did I do that? He said, it was a shaitan. Now she's thinking, I'm the daughter of Abu Bakr, the wife of the prophet. Peace be upon him. I have a shaitan? He said, I have a shaitan? He said, of course. Does everybody have it? Yes. He said, even thou, Rasulullah? And the prophet said, yes. But Allah has allowed me to conquer that shaitan, and he now only suggests good to me. The hadith in Sahih Muslim said that now he has become Muslim. The Arabic word is aslama, he has submitted. And now he only suggests good to me. Now you know the shaitan has Negro characteristics, no doubt about it. So the Negro lacks attention, so does shaitan. So he's here whispering to you all the time. And you ain't paying no attention. Pretty soon you get weak. So guess what he's going to do now? Instead of whispering to you to go get some dope or do this or do that, now he said, brother, it's time for you to make your salah. Right? He's going to suggest good to you because he's got to have attention. He's not going to just perish and die. His nature of creation demands that he suggests good to you. You just don't know it. Because you let him get the best of, we let him get the best of us most of the time. If the hadith wasn't true, the Prophet ﷺ would not have said it, that I have conquered that shaitan, and now he only suggests good to me. Therefore, you got the shaitan trap. Ignore it. Don't pay no attention to it. Pretty soon, here he comes. Yeah, brother. You giving his zakat today, you got to give zakat. People need zakat. That's what he's going to do. He's going to suggest good to you. He's relentless. Now remember, don't go for it. I mean, you do the good stuff, but he's going to be back. As soon as you start listening to him, you know, you think, as soon as I got the hook in, he's going to start in with the other stuff again. The longer you reject him again and again, the more he comes back. This is hadith. This is not We're not making this stuff up. This is actually the way of life known as Islam. Now you got to remember, Allah created this religion, and He made it for us. So that means that it's a hidayah. It means it's a guidance. And it has a form of guidance that directs everybody to the goal that's assigned for them. Because taqdeer is an assignment. You're assigned for a certain destiny. Now, destiny is really something, because you don't know what the assignment is. The ayat we just read, Sabbih isma rabbika al-a'la alladhi khalaqa fasawwa walladhi qadara fahada. So, Faqih, created. Khalid. Allah created everything in the universe and gave each thing. In other ayats it says that Allah created everything and then He gave it a sense of direction, and they can follow it if they want. And then He smoothed the way to that destiny. As we talked the other day, when Allah put milk in the mother's breast, right? The baby come out already sucking, ready to suck. And the milk is already there waiting. It's a rahmah, but it's always allowed and smoothed away. The mother didn't have to turn no flips. All the baby had to do was holler a little bit and then holler and say, hey, something's going on here, try this. Right? So Allah smooths the way in everything for you and I. If we find some assignment, and this taqdeer or qadr is an assignment, you don't always know. In fact, most cases you do not know the limits that you have. So the thing that we have to do is begin to work and develop, and then we start finding our destiny. When you find your destiny, you really go into work now. Even the white man says that once you do that kind of work, you'll never work again. When you work the work you like to do, you're not working. People see some of the brothers around here just be working, and they're not tired. Why? Because they like to do that. That's what they like to do. They get to do that. They don't got to do it. Let me say it again. They get to do it. They don't have to do that. They like doing it. Some people like helping other people. Who's the lucky one? Haz is the word that finds out what their best characteristics are. You have to test yourself and try yourself. Just like all the food on the smorgasbord. You have to taste a little bit of everything. Oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. How many people get a chance to test themselves and find out that they don't mind wealth, but if every wealth they get, they're going to give it away. Why? Because Allah made them to like to give money away, to give wealth away, to do stuff for other people. Most people are like that. But how many follow that principle? You got to get stuck in big things, and then you find out, hey man, when you're going over your life, you say the best part of life I liked was that part. So guess what? That's what I'm going to do. Right? So now you done jumped in what you like to do, plus your leisure. And you done turn it all into a hobby. Now that's when you get into some good work. When everything is focused on doing good and it ain't hard. For most people, doing good is difficult and it's hard. Now, that assignment, back to the assignment. Allah created everything and everybody and everything in the universe. And he made the birds to fly, the fish to swim. And you know the hadith, the sayings in Imam al-Ghazali, that even the fowl of the... So one knowledgeable man is harder on the shaitan than 1,000 worshippers. And then he talks about the fowl of the air, the fish of the sea will make dua for that type of person. That's what the hadith says. Imagine those fish in the sea and the birds flying around. You ever see the birds get trapped in all that oil somewhere? They got to wash them off with dawn and all that. Can you imagine how they, man, he got an idea that human being did it. Man, this guy, this is terrible. Some of them die, some of them get a little sprinkle of water on them and they get back to health. And then the fish down there, they like all that blue water and stuff. And you know, when you travel around the earth, you see, that's one place I like called El Mar de Siete Colores, the ocean of 7 colors. You know why it's 7 colors? Because the sand under the ocean is kind of shallow in that area near the San Andreas and island. And when you're flying over it, you see all those beautiful colors, you know. And Allah created those. But if you leave it to the human being, they have a statistic out now. They said the ocean has more plastic than fish. That's what the Europeans say. I know it's half as right. If he ain't all the way right, or twice as right. Can you imagine? There's more plastic in the ocean than fish. How do you think the fish feel? Oh man, he's making what, if we could get a knowledgeable man, a group of them, to clean up this water, because they have heard long time ago how fresh the water is. Now it's like a legend. There was a time when this place was beautiful. And you lived a long time till somebody caught you, you know what I mean? And it was wonderful. I'm not saying they actually talked to each other, told them what's happening, but it just sounds good. That there was a time when the ocean was beautiful and self-cleansing. And now it's full of rock and poison. They cleaned it up a little, but they dirtied it up in a bigger way. Y'all remember 30 years ago when in Ohio, the river caught on fire? That's when they started having Earth Day. They said, we got us. The river, big one, I don't know which one it was, caught on fire. The river caught on fire. Now, isn't there something backwards about that? The river was so full of poison, pollution, and toxins that it caught on fire. So whose job, I'm leading up to the subject of whose job is it to straighten that up? So Allah created everything, perfects it, and He formulates and guides. This is our Allah. Now, the last part was about Taqdeer or Qadr. We're going to skip over Hidayah, but Hidayah is still the same part. You are guided and you're led to your assignment. You say, well, I don't have freedom of movement then. You do have freedom of choice. Because Allah knows everything. So He makes your life, you have 1,000 choices in life, just say. Allah knows which one you're going to make. Allah knows it, Allah cannot not know right? Allah has to know. Why? He created you and He knows everything. So, but that foreknowledge of the choice you're going to make does not mean that Allah is going to punish you in a way or force you in a way that when the Quran talks, a seal is over their heart, over their eyes. Their behavior produced that seal. Allah didn't produce it, but their behavior. Once you get into a pattern of behavior, your vision cuts off. Your heart closes up. It gets constricted, right? So now Allah knows the choice you're going to make. The foreknowledge of your choice does not prevent you from having the freedom to make that choice. I have to say it again because a lot of people get confused. Even Hadith say that this takdir can cause people to get funny in religion sometimes. But destiny means that you were created with a destiny. You got a destiny. I think there was two of the prophets, Moses and somebody else, saying, well, you know, you had to do that, and you did such and such. And so I think it was Musa, he said, when was it written in the Torah that I was going to do that deed? He said 50,000 years before you showed up. He said, well, how can I be at fault for something that was already written for me to do? You see what I mean? Let me break the confusion though. Again, back to the choices. You have a choice. Let's say you have 1,000 choices. Allah knows, has foreknowledge of the choice you're going to make. But He does not make you make that choice. He knows which choice you're going to make. You have the freedom. How do you get to heaven or hell? You have the freedom of choice. Isn't it right? You choose the life you're going to live. Right? That's your choice. It's not Allah's choice. You don't make you do it, but He knows what you're going to do. Right? Allah knows what you're going to do. Now, don't be distressed now. You got all kind of avenues of aid and assistance. You got salat, you got zakat, you got all kind of purifying techniques, right? You got all of that to help you. You have dua. Now, these say be careful about the dua of the oppressed, because there's no barrier between the oppressed and Allah. So you got everything, look, you got everything going for you. That's all I'm trying to say. We got everything going for us. What team we going to be on? We going to be on Shaitan's team that filters up the ocean, filters up the air, that robs and steals everybody? Or we going to ease up and join the movement to establish an excellent world to live in? Oh, we can't do nothing about it because everything was already fixed. You know, when we was kids, do you know that we took lynching and hanging as normal? You know why? Because it existed. Somebody had to come along, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X and them come along and said, it's not good for people to hang you. You think I'm lying? Then we said, man, that show is cool. Just think, man, we stretched up. We took it as normal. We took strange fruit. 4 brothers hanging on a tree. Strange fruit. It's normal. We talked about it in our homes. It was almost a joke. Yeah, so-and-so, the white man, so-and-so said something to the white man and they strung him up. It was true. It was normal. We accept it because people accept what they come in. If you're born into nasty oceans, nasty air, nasty water, all that bad type of publicity, you consider that as normal. It's the way it is. We consider lynching, burning, hanging is normal. In the 40s and 50s, the news more than common. I mean, real like common. I mean, like, you know, everyday common. So-and-so got lynched last week. That common. Somebody had to come along and tell us, hey, that's not nice. And we looked up and said, hey, that ain't nice. Then they killed those people. And guess what we did? We went back and said, well, hanging, lynching, shooting niggas down. Do you know that this is 2019 or something? Do you know how long they've been shooting Negroes? Now in slavery, they didn't shoot Negroes. They just whooped you. They didn't kill you because it was property. They're not going to kill their property, right? But ever since then, when you cease becoming property in Reconstruction, they have been killing. It is legal to shoot Negroes. Do you know the public would never believe that there's a white police, a whole group of them, that get up every morning wishing, I hope I get a chance to shoot me a nigga. Man, if I can just ease it this way, and the nigga open his mouth, I can blow that nigga away. They don't believe that. I do. I don't believe it. I know that is a fact. I know that's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. It wouldn't be going on if it wasn't true. That there's a percentage of white police that get up in the morning and got a hope and a desire to kill black people. And there's another probably 30 or 40% that will go along with it. Maybe 5% of that. That'll go along with it. That he almost want to kill it, but I just, he wants to kill a nigga after all. They're human too, but if they kill a nigga, right? Gun, bam, bam. It happens in Sacramento, it happens everywhere. All they got to do is holler gun. If everybody opens up, right? Is there any police in the squad that says his gun is full? No. All of them empty. And who? The nigga. Me and you. Our children, our parents. That's the world we live in. Okay. So, what's your assignment? You want to change that and you want to put up with it. In closing, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Al-Yawm akmaltu lakum dinakum wa atmamtu alaykum niyamati wa raditu lakum al-Islam adina. Today I have perfected for you your religion and have completed on you my favor and have approved for you Islam as your religion. Atmamtu, that means that it's completed, it's perfected. So Allah has completed. When this revelation, one of the last, was given to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that means there's no revelation coming after that. Why is no revelation? Why was revelation needed after the Torah, after the Injil and all of those? Because they were corrupted. People mixed up. The Injil, or the one they got, says, and Jesus said. That's about 3 or 4% of the New Testament. Most of it is what Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John say. They given their rendition, their story. They hid, I don't know, where so many Gospels were hidden. Council of Nicaea, 325. So that book needs correcting. It was correct when it was sent to Esau alayhi salam. The Torah was correct when it was sent to Bani Israel, right? Okay. But all of them had allowed nationalism, diversion, like the King James Version. He tells you straight up, this is my version, right, of the Bible, 1619. Y'all see it? Why? Because there was stuff going on in his empire. He wanted to consolidate it. So he said, hey man, this is my version that fits my story. Al-Yawm akmaltu lakum dinakum. Allah completed and perfected the religion. So if we need release from oppression, from sickness and murder, and death and destruction, if the world needs healing, that healing, as-Shifa, is in the Quran. And the first people standing in line that is revealed to is you and I, the Muslims, right? So we have no excuse not to accept the assignment, right? The responsibility, right? For this great mission for today. Nobody else is going to accept it. Everybody else got an excuse. But we're not saying it's us alone. We want to cooperate with all good people. That's what our As-Sabiqun do. Sabiqun. They anticipate what's needed. They look ahead and they figure out what's needed to be done. And they get out and do the job before anybody else even knows a job needs to be done. And then they go on about their business. You know, you can stand in front of Western oppression. The people don't believe that no single-handed Negro or anybody else can stand in front of the whole United States government and tickle them and tell them to kiss them. They can do it. Haven't been done before, but it's already been done. People just too blind to see what's going to happen. That's been happening already. Happy, healthy, and everything else. So now we're going into the stage because As-Sabiqun tries to determine what's needed at that time. Humanity may need an example to show them what can be done to remove the excuses from life. And in closing, today I have perfected your religion for you. That means it's complete, it's perfected, there ain't nothing missing. Completed my favor on you and have approved for you Islam as a way of life. Those successful who are happy with Islam as a religion, with Muhammad as the messenger, and Allah as God, those people are on the right road. So we thank you very much for being patient with us. We have our regular fare here, and so I guess it's enough. It was unlimited. You can fill your plate like everybody was doing the iftar. Now they can say what they want about it, which they do. We don't believe it's true what they say. But one thing is true, is a full plate. Right? And kind of like gourmet type food. It's not bad. It's pretty good. You know why? If you like doing something, the people can taste it. You know, that is simple. But if you don't like doing it, I'm not going to fix that. I'll fix it for them. They can taste that too. Tell the truth. Everything that's in you will come out in what you do. So we thank you very much. We have 2 boxes in the window. Now, we're going to close with this. Keep it with every Sunday. We're going to go back to feeding the Negro, feeding the people. You know, right outside. And this, we started 1 or 2 times, and guess what? All the people in 2 times recognize, oh yeah, everybody now is security for the Masjid. Everybody across the street, there's security for the Masjid. That's what the goal. The goal was to offer. They look at the food, they say, hey, can I get one for Johnny? He's up in the house. I say, you sure Johnny's up in the house? He just went to the place. You can't blame the Negro for being a Negro. You can't do it. If you do, you'll be just ruined. So we thank all of you very much, and those 2 boxes in the window, we'd like to pass them around. So everybody, those 2 boxes in the window don't have polio there, please. You see those? It says a copy of does the brothers have polio? Anything like hesitant? Yeah, there they are, right there in the window. No polio, just pass them around for everybody. You can pass the other box and let the sister just fill it up, call it Feed the Negro program. Yeah. Yeah. You know, and I'll close with this. The other day, it was a foreigner. 2 foreigners came in and they was eating food. One was at the window, and he was looking out at the Negroes, and he called the other. And I was sitting right there in the chair, and I was observing. It was really something. He was an immigrant. It was interesting to him. He might have been making fun, which I think he was. He might not, they got a word in Pakistan for niggas, prophet. Look at them guys. And the other guy, the Turkish guy, I think, he saw me looking at him, and he didn't go along with it. But maybe they thought it was a zoo. Entertaining. Look at those people out there. Man, it's really something. So thank y'all very much. Be patient. We're going to lay out the table, and we're going to have a wonderful Eid. And really, thank all of y'all for coming and participating. When you serve the food back there, always start at the bottom and not at the top. Because if you start at the top, the food is cold. You start at the bottom,